Someone raised a risk early. They were told not to be negative. By the time that risk became real, it was the reason the project missed its deadline. No policy ever told the team to stop reporting risk. The team learned it anyway, from a single dismissive reaction. In week 2, someone raised a concern about the data migration timeline. The response was quick and dismissive. Let's focus on solutions, not problems. By week 10, that exact concern was the reason the project missed its deadline. The risk had been named correctly the first time. Here is what determines the quality of your risk register before any technique or template gets involved. Culture. A perfectly designed process run inside a culture that punishes honesty will produce a register full of comfortable risks and silent about the dangerous ones. The process was never the problem. 3 projects, 3 versions of the same lesson being taught without anyone writing it down. Meridian taught silence through dismissal. Vantage taught it through competitive optics. And Atlas taught it through quiet exclusion. None of these organizations had a policy that said stop reporting risk. They didn't need one. The behavior did the teaching. Here is what connects all 3 situations. None of the failures were about process design. All of them were about what happened to the person who told the truth. PRINCE2 Risk Management names this directly as a principle. The organization must create a supportive culture. Without it, every other principle is working with information that has already been filtered by fear. 3 ways culture quietly defeats good risk management. Reward systems that favor the appearance of control over the reality of it. Leaders whose first reaction teaches everyone what is and is not safe to say. And a basic confusion between taking risk, which should be encouraged, and reporting risk honestly, which should never be punished. The principle is specific about what is required, not the absence of risk. Not a culture where nothing ever goes wrong. The condition where people can take considered risks in pursuit of value and report what they see honestly, without that honesty costing them something personally. This is the misunderstanding that drives most unsupportive cultures. Somewhere along the way, a red risk became a mark against the person reporting it rather than useful information about the project. Once that happens, the register cleans itself up. Not because the risks went away, because reporting them stopped being safe. 3 things a genuinely supportive culture makes possible. People speak up early while there is still time to act proportionately. Risk scores reflect reality rather than political calculation. And mistakes become learning rather than something to be hidden until they cannot be hidden anymore. The leadership test happens once, usually early, and it sets the tone for everything that follows. Someone brings a leader uncomfortable news for the first time. The reaction in that single moment, whether it is curiosity or irritation, gratitude or blame, teaches the entire team more about the real risk culture than any policy ever could. 3 defining moments, none of them written into any policy document. Meridian's tone was set in a single dismissive comment. Vantage's was set by a sponsor's visible preference that nobody had to state out loud. And Atlas taught its lesson through one quiet exclusion that everyone noticed and nobody discussed. These moments outweigh policy every time. Rebuilding trust on Meridian took longer than the original deadline slip. The new project manager could not simply announce that the culture had changed. She had to demonstrate it, repeatedly, by responding well to uncomfortable news in front of the whole team, until people believed it was actually safe to speak up again. This is the insight that changed how Meridian recovered. Good risk reporting should be valued for the quality of the decision it represents, not judged after the fact by whether the risk actually happened. Someone who raises a risk that never materializes has not wasted anyone's time. They have done exactly what good risk management requires. 3 deliberate moves that rebuild a supportive culture. Recognize early disclosure publicly, even when the risk turns out fine. Keep risk conversations separate from blame conversations. And explicitly invite the worst-case view in every session, so people understand that pessimism is useful information rather than something to apologize for. On Project Vantage, the cost of the green culture arrived 9 months in, all at once. 2 risks that had each been quietly downgraded before every governance review materialized within the same fortnight. The combined impact was significantly larger than anything the sanitized reports had ever prepared the board to expect. 3 costs that an unsupportive culture always produces eventually. Exposure that nobody can see because nobody felt safe describing it accurately. Warnings that arrive too late to act on proportionately. And the quiet loss of exactly the people whose honesty the organization needed most, because they got tired of being penalized for providing it. Here is the reframe this principle offers. Supportive does not mean comfortable, it means honest. A culture where uncomfortable risks can be named without personal cost is not a soft culture. It is the only kind of culture in which risk management can actually function as intended. The rule is simple to state and uncomfortable to apply honestly. If raising a risk ever costs someone more than staying silent would have, the culture has already taught its lesson. Reversing that lesson takes far longer than teaching it did in the first place. 3 actions before your next team interaction. Recall how the last uncomfortable risk was received and what it taught your team. Thank someone openly for raising a difficult risk this week, and check your last few reports for risks that vanished without explanation. Each of these tells you something real about your current culture. Whether you are leading a team on a live project or working towards your PRINCE2 Risk Management qualification, this principle sits underneath all the others. No scale, no template, and no governance structure can compensate for a culture where people are afraid to tell you the truth. 3 ways to take this further. Tell us in the comments whether you have seen a risk soften to avoid discomfort and what was really driving it. If you want structured learning across all 8 principles, the Mimir Learning PRINCE2 Risk Management course is built for practitioners who need more than exam knowledge. And this week, find one moment to recognize honest disclosure visibly in front of the team. Share your experience.